Here we see the text of the next task, and it is about figuring out what players played in 3 matches. And let's see what we can figure out from the text here. And we can see here that all we have to go on is a list from each match that contains the shirt number of the players that played in that particular game. I think I'll mark this bit here so I know that I have a list of numbers from each game or from each match. And we shall create a script that solves the problem of finding, maybe we should mark this too, figure out what players have played in the last 3 matches. I think I will mark that too so we have an idea of what we're going to solve. And here we can see that the task can be solved in many ways, but as we have learned about sets, we have decided that we shall solve it using 3 sets. Alright, so we have 3 lists of the shirt numbers of players that played the 3 latest matches. And what we need to do is to convert those lists into sets and then figure out what player or what players that played in all these 3 matches. Alright, so that is what we need to do. I think we have an understanding of what we need to do. Let's see if we can come up with a plan for how we can solve this. And I'll use a flowchart here and I'll start drawing it. And I think the first thing I want to do is what I mentioned before, that we should convert the lists to sets. So that is my first thing that I imagine that we should do in our script. Maybe we'll name them something different when we actually implement this script that we are to implement, but for now I'm gonna call my 3 sets M1, M2 and M3 for match 1, match 2 and match 3. And of course those sets will contain the shirt numbers of the players that played in that particular game. And how are we now going to figure out what players played in all of them? I think after reading in the course literature about intersection, what I will do is the following. I will take the intersection between match 1 and match 2. So that will contain the players or the shirt numbers that played in both of these 2 matches. So the intersection between these 2 will be stored as X. And then the next step is to take the intersection between what we just found out, the players that played in both match 1 and 2, and the ones that is in match number 3. So here we find the ones that it is both in 1 and 2, call that X, and then we check out of those who played in match 1 and 2, what players are also in match 3, or what players did also play in match 3. We call that Y. So Y here will be the players that have played in match 1, 2 and 3. There is only one thing left to do, and that is to display the results. So we start the script by converting all our 3 lists into sets. Then we find the players that played in both match 1 and match 2. Those are stored in X. After that, we check what players played in X, meaning that they were in both match 1 and 2, and also in the 3rd match. Those that are stored in Y, and then we display Y. And we can see this little symbol here means the intersection. So find the intersection between match 1 and match 2. And here we find the intersection between x and M3. So this is my plan for how we should solve this task, and how we implement it we will see in the implementation video.